Greetings and welcome back to Photoshop Parties. It's the last day of November. Wow, December already. So we got, what, 3 more Saturdays till Christmas. Woohoo. Okay, today we are going to talk about neural filters. How many people have started playing with them so far? Anybody played with them a little bit? I know a few of you would. Neural filters are getting there. They're not perfect yet, but they're getting there. So let's go ahead and, where am I? Share screen. That's what I want to do. Go desktop, get rid of Facebook, and get rid of him. Playing with my buffalo from Yellowstone. And go to bridge. Had everything set up before I started. Now
Did it restart on you in the background?
No, I just sidetracked and brain fart. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one, I'm going to start with an ugly picture to start with so we can get it out of the way. We're going to go to Filter, Neural Filters, and it'll pop up. And I'm going to go to Smart Portrait. Smart Portrait's really cool. You can see I'm very happy there, but let's go ahead and add a little bit more happiness. In fact, let's max it out, see what happens, all the way up to 50. And this one processes in the cloud. Down at the bottom, you can see down here, it says processing in the cloud. Now it says processing on device. So what it has to do is upload the image to the cloud and then bring it back down, and you can work on it on your device, which should be faster than the cloud, but
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Let's take it back the other way just for fun. So if you got somebody that doesn't smile, doesn't have teeth, you can add teeth to them and make them happy. And this is just the opposite. So go back to Centerville. We'll go to facial age. First, we'll go the bad direction, which is older. So to the right is older, to the left is younger. It puts a few more wrinkles in, grays up the hair. Let's add a little bit more hair thickness. What are you laughing about, Mel?
nothing
That's
to
what I
see.
thought. And it didn't really thicken it up a whole lot, but that's okay. There's not a lot it can do, right?
It's only got so much to work with.
Yeah, that's as thick as it gets. So I'll turn that off real quick. Go back to normal. Now that's the old version of me. And we'll go to facial age, take it the other way. And this is the younger version of me. Wow.
Wow.
Why is there so
I've
much laughter?
I've known you a long time, Michael, and I don't think I ever do that, Mike.
No.
Agreed, Kevin. Agreed.
I saw that portrait on eharmony.com.
I love you guys.
We love you too, Mike.
Let's give a little less gray, or a little bit more gray, but not a lot. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, at the bottom, you can output it down at the very bottom on the right. It says output to new layer masked, current layer. I always put it on new layer so I can tweak it and play with it. So that's the big deal with this. You can also change the eye direction. So if I wanted the eyes to look to the left, or actually his right, my left, give it a second. Give it a second, and it sort of looks to our left. Take it the other way. You can move the eyes if they're not perfectly in place, and obviously doesn't do a fantastic, perfect job, but there we go. I'm looking off. That one looks a little bit better than the other, so I'm going to hit cancel on that one. And there's the real guy, unretouched. Ooh, let's get rid of that one right away. Next one down. This one is kind of fun. It's getting there. It's not quite there. So I'll go to filter, neural filters, and I'm going to go to colorize. And when it does the colorize, you can see it's grayed out. And there's a reason why it's grayed out. And I left it that way on purpose. It will not do anything while it's grayed out because it is in, whoops, cancel. There we go. Go to image mode and it's in grayscale. So it wouldn't allow it to put any colors in. So let's go ahead and go to RGB color. Now we'll go to filter, neural filters, back to colorize again. Click on colorize.
Whoa. Oh,
Not bad.
Wow.
Not bad. It's a good
Wow.
starting point. It's a
Yeah.
good starting point. And I
That
like
that actually started as a black and white image, or did
that
you
was a
did you
black and white
grayscale
image.
at what? Okay,
No, it started as a black and white.
cool.
So Photoshop did a lot. You'll notice when I use my zoom tool, I like to circle the area that I want to get. So I want to drag it over this area under the first propeller on the left-hand side, but it won't let me because it's set to scrubby zoom at the top. I put zoom tool, unclick scrubby zoom, and now I can put a square around where I want zoomed into. If you look under the airplane, there's some stuff you're going to have to retouch there, which is really easy to do. In fact, we can do that. Let's put it on new layer, click OK. You can also colorize and tint and all that other stuff with it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to B for brush, and I'm going to get a new layer, a new blank layer. And let's go ahead and sample this brown tone right here. And what I'm going to do, just for fun, I'm going to paint first, then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. There's my cursor. And I'm using a mouse, so it's hard to see. I'm at 30% opacity. That's why it's not working so well. Let's go up to 100%. And you can see when I do that, that it just paints in the color. But if I change the mode from normal to
All right.
color mode,
Yeah.
you can see it blends it in a whole lot better, much gooder. So now we can just paint that in. The tail on the flying plane is a little bit bluish. It didn't get the color it needed. So we'll sample the color of the front of the plane and just kind of paint that in a little bit. And then also the wing is green, the fuselage is gray on the big plane. So we'll add a little bit of green in there as well, just so it kind of matches in a lot better. But for a starting point,
Yeah.
that ain't bad. I mean, I have no complaints. So I'm going to take it back to original. You've got clouds in the sky. You've got gray all over the place. And then with Colorize, boom, it does it really quickly. So I'm quite happy with that one. Not perfect, but we're getting better.
That's impressive.
It is impressive.
Let's go to the next one. This is a raw file I shot at a wedding. This is the best man. And they were staying at a place in Temecula that has a sheriff's office, a post office, a bank, where you sleep in the place, which is really cool. So I shot it raw like I always do. So I'm going to check the white balance. I'm going to go to auto and say, fix me. Auto white balance didn't do diddly squat there. So let's go ahead and bring up the shadows a little bit. They're already brought up to 95. Wow. Bring up some blacks as well. And drop the highlights so we don't get too much. Click open. and wait and wait, and it's open. So I'm going to go to neural filter. So filter down to neural filter. This one should shock you. I'm going to go to colorize.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to colorize. There we go.
Huh.
Click OK. Is it perfect? No, not quite. But when you look at before and after, it's like, hot dang, it did a decent job. It's a good starting point to where I can do some more work on it. So if you have an image that's got really bad color, give it a shot and colorize, see what happens. Their AI on this is just amazing what it can do.
The little minions have been busy.
Yes, they have.
Michael, what's the game plan for all of these beta stuff? Eventually, if they get feedback that's positive, are they going to incorporate it in their program, or are they going to put something out that you have to pay for it, or do you know?
They'll probably make you pay for it if you like it too much. My understanding is the more people like certain beta filters, they will actually work on making them into regular filters once they get them all fixed. Smart portrait, landscape mixer, which we'll show in a second, depth blur, color transfer. These are all future deals. There was some that they had beta filter or beta, and you're supposed to check to see if you liked it, for making like cartoons out of portraits, and that's no longer in here. So I guess not enough people liked it.
Indeed.
I definitely liked it, so I like doing stuff like that. So let me close him out. Command
I wonder what
W.
would happen to this image if you took it to monochrome first and then colorized it.
Well,
Interesting idea.
delete this layer. Do a shortcut. Monochrome. And the shortcut I did was Shift Option Command or Shift Alt Control be like in boy for black and white. So now it's color, it's black and white now. And we'll go to neural filters. And then we'll go to colorize. Turn on colorize and
Not the same.
Yeah, it's maybe a little better, maybe.
yeah, it might be a touch better, but
Yeah. See?
I'm just amazed that
But
knew it was
not a
red.
huge difference.
The contrast is better, but that might be because of the tweaking you did on the black and white.
that could be too, because I did tweak it a little bit with the black and white.
A little more than that first one was.
Yeah, so go ahead.
I want to know how, as a black and white picture, it knew that that background should be red.
Exactly.
There's got to
Is
be
it reading your mind or what?
there's got to be some tonal values in there that says, hey, this should be red. This is the skin tone should be skin toned. There's got to be something there that it's seeing.
Michael, I think it's pulling information from your original raw file there.
Well, the airplane picture. I mean, let's go back to that one.
Yeah.
That doesn't have any color information in it at all.
No, in fact, it starts as a grayscale image. So it's completely grayscale. There is no color. That's how it opens up. Put it in RGB color, go to neural filter, colorize, and boom. I mean, how do it know?
That's
There's magic in there.
I think if
it's
you
gone.
one picture, if you had really converted it and brought it back as a, say, a JPEG, as a grayscale JPEG, it wouldn't have that red cast if you tried it again.
You think that would be the case? Let's find out. Okay, open him up. And we'll take the saturation out. So he's there. Bring up the blacks a little bit, bring up the highlights just a touch. Color mixer. Open. I'm going to crop him so he moves faster. Crop. Let's do a 4x5 because that's what's up there. Boom. Command Shift S. Colorize 3. Save it as a JPEG. Close him. Don't save. Back to bridge. Colorize JPEG. And we'll go to filter, neural filters. I keep wanting to go lower in the filter list to find neural filters. And he was in mode, grayscale, RGB color. Now we'll go back to filter again. I feel like I'm playing ping pong here.
Your serve.
So there's a little bit less red over on the right-hand side. Still got a little bit of red on the bars there. But
In the
that's
jacket there.
Better.
But still even better than before.
Yeah.
It still
Wow.
has the same general colors.
I'm
It's amazing.
moderately impressed.
Wow.
And for those that know me, I love shooting baseball. So let's go to filter, neural filters. Open, 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 open. And we'll go to the new one called depth blur. And this is a beta right now. So it's not perfect, but it's not bad. Right now, blur strength is at 50, so it's halfway there. And this one takes a little bit longer to execute because it has to figure out what's my main subject. Well, obviously, Danny Duffy is the main subject. And you can see the background blurred pretty good.
Wow.
Great.
Let's blur it a little bit more. Let's take it all the way. 100%. Come on. Go to 100. I said go to 100. I don't want to play. Okay, give it a second to run again. That's at 100%. And one of the problems with it, okay, come on. Why are you?
You broke it.
I broke it. I need a new computer. One of the
They still make
problems,
them.
yeah, one of the problems you see is up at the hat right here, and the face. There's a guy with the same color tones right behind him, and it's not picking it up.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Can you
to-
export this with a mask and then just mask it out?
Even with the mask, it won't give me the blur. So I'd have to do a smart object and then put a filter on and blur that and then paint it in. But it's 90% there to begin with. So I can live with that. Okay, here we go. Focus subject has to be checked. Focal range is one thing that you can fix on this. Okay. Let's take it to 50%. 54 is close enough. Let it rerun again and again and again, and go to Command 0. If you check the focal range box right here and drag it to say 33%, you'll see that the crowd will become a little bit more focused. not much, but a little bit, but it extends the focal range. So it's like instead of shooting at 1.8, you're shooting at f8. A little bit of difference there. And I will, with this, I will add a new layer with layer mask. Click OK. And so if I try to paint in that area right there, B for brush, click on mask, and I'm going to go to white, make a brush small enough. You can see it's not doing anything there.
It's not.
And I'm at 100% opacity, 100% flow, normal. So
Yeah.
that's something I just have to go in and make a smart filter and try to match the filtering right there.
Or clone it out.
I
Or
was gonna
clone
say,
it.
could you not just clone it?
I could. Yeah, that'd be an easy clone. So it can be done without a problem, but I'm just amazed at the
So
blur
turn,
that it
turn
does.
off your top layer. Did it do anything to the bottom layer?
No, did nothing to the bottom layer. The bottom
Okay.
layer is where it started. So we'll go and then turn on the top layer. You see it just blurs out the background, except for that one little spot by his face. But it masked him pretty well.
So he's coming off the background layer, right?
Yeah,
He's coming off the background layer. So shift click on that mask and turn that mask off. I'll have to experiment with that sometime. Interesting.
yeah. If you get rid of the layer, I mean, he's already taken out for you. So you can see there's a little bit of mess there around the people, but I don't know why that won't allow me to filter that out or to paint that out. So I don't have the answer to that one. And I played with it, and tried different things, and it just wouldn't work for me. So there you go. That's the depth blur filter. Command W, don't save. Go back to bridge. Next one down. Harmonization. This is really cool. Open up two different layers or two different images. This one is a jet that I photographed in Pennsylvania at the Philadelphia airport. Made it look like it was flying. So I'm going to add a sky to it. So V for the move tool, drag it up, hold it, drag it down, and let's drag it underneath. And you can tell that the colors do not match whatsoever. In fact, let's get rid of, delete, apply layer mask. So it's gone. So now I have an airplane and I have a sky, but they don't match. So let's go to filter, neural filters. And there's one called harmonization, a big long word. Harmonization. And in the upper right hand corner, you have select a layer. I'm going to select layer 1 because that's what I want to harmonize with. And it should go a little bit too strong. You can see that it didn't quite work there. Well, let's take the strength down, 28%. A little bit more. There we go. So with this one, probably about 40% would work great for that. But you can see, let's see, there's a before and after down here. Before, after.
Yeah, before is really obnoxious.
Totally obnoxious. And again, I'm going to put it to new layer, click OK. Now what I can do is I can, if I don't like it there, I can fade it using the opacity. Oh, if I fade the opacity, take the opacity down. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't work very well. Okay, never mind.
You need the,
Michael, this
If I-
is Gary. When I tried to download that filter, it said we are temporarily disabled this filter because of an error.
Okay, you may have to reboot Photoshop and try it again. The mistake I was making was my background copy, which is the bright plane. When I dropped the opacity down, wasn't turned on. So you can change your opacity settings to adjust it how you want it to work for that top layer. And as a reminder, a general rule, this is filtered. Name your layers, which I never do. Do as I say, not as I do. Name your layers so you can find them later on. If you had a different background you wanted to do, you could use that as well, and then have it match using that filter. So it's harmonization. Command W, don't save. Command W, bridge. This is a cool filter, but it's not perfect yet. We're going to go to filter, narrow filters, surprisingly. Let's go to landscape mixer, which is about 3/4 of the way down. Click on that. And it gives you a whole bunch of pretty pictures that you can pick from. Well, I like winter time. So let's try this one, see what happens. This one sometimes takes a little bit longer to work. And it's processing on device is what it says at the bottom. So we're processing and go out and get a cup of coffee and come back. And this is a 4:5 image, so it's not big. 4:5 at 300. A little bit strong there. So let's take it down to about 50%. It should go faster now that it's seen what it has to do. And not quite the look I was looking for. So let's go ahead and add winter to it. Down at the bottom, you have sunset, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So I'm going to hit winter at about 50% or just under 50%, which is okay. It's going to do the same thing. It's going to make the lions look kind of funky. Just a little bit. Okay, no problem. Output to new layer. I'm going to add a layer mask manually. So click on the layer mask, B for brush. And we're going to paint with black. So I'm going to hit X to exchange the colors. Make my brush a little bit bigger and about 50% opacity.
Oh, wow.
Let's drop it down to about 20%. And I want to leave some of the snow on them to make it look like they're actually in the snow. But holy cow. Before, after. And yes, this was shot in the wintertime, so it just happened to be wintertime in Africa or South Africa when we shot it. But that's like wicked cool. And we can always fade some of the grass area as well. It's going to turn it brownish though. But if we did, nope, just experimenting, it's not going to work. But you can play with it and get what you want out of it. Don't save, go back to, and I can't remember, Ira, did you send me this one?
No.
This one's
Yes.
kind of,
Yeah, that was mine.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
This one's kind of fun to play with because it's wintertime here. Well, let's go to filter, neural filters. I could add more snow to it, but I don't want to. I'm going to go to landscape mixer and let's go to this big patch of green grass, which is third one down on the right-hand side. And see what this does, which is totally weird.
Hey, Michael, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
The box says preserve subject and it's unchecked. What does that do if you check that box?
Okay, I'll go back to the lions and show you what it does. I should have done that before, but it just made the building green covered with all kinds of stuff. Kind of weird, but
That's awesome.
I mean, you can do some weird stuff with this. I had a picture of a waterfall in a valley that I took at Yellowstone a while back, and I did this filter and it made everything turn green instead of snow. So cancel that. Let's go to kitty cats. We'll do the filter one more time. No, I don't want smart portrait. I want landscape mixer. Let's do snow. And about 40% of winter. And I clicked on preserve subject. You also have right below that harmonized subject. So it puts it in the same tonal range as well. So when it snows and snows, it's been snowing really hard now. You just have to wait for the snow. It's December almost. And
Oh, wow.
so if I unclick preserve subject, it's going to turn them back into their little statues.
If you click harmonize, will that kind of give you the color balance between them and the background?
We'll find out in a second. Since it's done processing, we'll click on harmonize. Thanks for asking. The best thing you can do with these filters is play. So preserve subject and harmonize. So it should turn them a little bit blue. Should. I'm not sure if it will or not, but you never know. So let's click OK, bring it up on its own layer. And it did lighten them up a little bit and also put some blue in there. So the answer to the question is yes. Most definitely maybe. And don't save. And do I got any more? Oh yeah, this fun one. This is another one where you go to neural filters. I keep thinking it's down lower and still. Landscape mixer. We're going to add some sunset and some winter.
It's a cool picture, Michael.
That was at Yellowstone as well.
Yellowstone. Yeah.
Yep.
Terrific.
And it was definitely dark out when I shot that. I want to say 800 ISO, maybe higher. It was a fun trip. So that added a whole lot of sunset and a little bit of snow. Let's add some more snow to it. A little bit less sunset. So you can play with these. The only problem with playing with these is you got to wait for the filter to run again. And I'm very impatient. But normally I have music in the background cranked up, so it doesn't bother me quite as much. And that looks a little bit more like wintertime. But you can see as you do this it starts to tear apart and pixelate a little bit. So you got to be careful of that. And just for fun, let's get rid of winter and go to, you want spring or you want autumn? Somebody pick.
Autumn.
Autumn it is. Run it at about 55%. And the best thing to do is just get some images you want to play with and start playing, because you can't hurt it. So this is autumn at sunset, which is,
What version of Photoshop is this all in?
this is 2022, the latest version.
That's why I don't have it. Okay.
You have to update to the latest version, and
I don't think I've updated for a year and a half, so
oh, you need to.
I hate updating. Every time I update, it screws everything up. So I
Oh yeah. You just got to back everything up so you know where it's
I
at.
don't know how to back everything up.
Need to take my class. We'll show you
My
how to do it.
photos are backed up. But the
Wait.
brushes and all that. stuff.
Brushes and actions and all that, we have to show you. This one is a filter that's not a beta filter. This is actually skin smoothing. And we're going to process on the device. Right now it's set to 50% for blur. And I'm going to bump it up to 64% and add a little bit of smoothness on here. Maybe a little bit more smoothness. And everything I do is output to new layer. Here's your before, here's your after. So it got you a good start on your retouch, so you don't have to retouch as much. Couple of swipes with your healing brush or spot healing brush. And you can see my computer likes to freeze up on me. I leave my healing brush up there. But all I have to do is hit Command minus and it goes away. So there's something, I don't know if it's my computer or if it's in Photoshop that I'm having a glitch with. So anyway, that's a skin softening.
Michael, I'm having the same kinds of problems, and I'm using 21 still.
Okay.
The same kind of hesitations. Slide the image and it goes away and rebuilds it. So it's
Yeah.
frustrating.
And so, okay, now it's not going to do it.
Yeah, sometimes it works perfect, and then there's other times.
There we go. And all I have to do is hit, I can move the image or I could do whatever, and it fixes it right away. But it's just a pain in the butt. Drives me crazy. That's the skin. And style transfer. I forgot what I was going to do with this guy. Let's go to neural filters. Style transfer. And is that Van Gogh or Rembrandt? I don't even know. See what happens. Nope, don't like that. Let's try a different one. I forget which one I did. I worked on this 2 weeks ago and it did a really cool one, but I can't tell you which one it was now. That one's okay. Makes it look like a wood carving.
Yeah.
And you can play with these as well. There's sliders for all of them. And come on. Yeah, I don't know which one I was playing with the other day that made it really cool. Anyway, you have all these style transfers that you can play with and figure out which one works and which one doesn't work, because sometimes you never know. Come on, you can do it. And if this one doesn't work, I'm going to close it anyway because I'm tired of this bear. Yeah. I don't know which one it was I was playing with, but just get in and play with these and figure out what you like and don't like. And there's just more color there. Cancel. Don't like. Don't like. Command W. So that is neural filters in one heck of a hurry. Any questions on neural filters? Good, because I don't want to answer any questions because I don't know. Let me go ahead and hit stop recording.